On the first day of a 4-day Gaza ceasefire agreement, Hamas released 24 hostages abducted by militants from southern Israel 7 weeks ago. Today is Saturday, November 25th, 2023, and this is the Dunkley Report. On the first day of a 4-day Gaza ceasefire agreement, Hamas released 24 hostages abducted by militants from southern Israel 7 weeks ago. In return, Israel freed 39 Palestinians from prison on Friday. More hostage-for-prisoner swaps are expected over the weekend, and Israel says it has received a new list of hostages to be freed by Hamas on Saturday. The ceasefire agreement allowed sorely needed aid to flow into Gaza. The territory's 2.3 million Palestinians saw quiet for the first time after relentless Israeli bombardment. The deal also offered a moment of hope for families in Israel and elsewhere worried about loved ones taken during Hamas' October 7th attack, which triggered the war. Hamas freed 10 Thai nationals who were seized in the group's surprise attack on southern Israel last month. On Friday, some hostages went free under a new ceasefire deal, including 4 who were not previously listed as abducted. Thailand's foreign minister wrote online that he was overjoyed. Thais were the biggest single group of foreigners taken hostage on October 7th. A Filipino was also released along with the 10 Thais. The Thai Foreign Ministry said the released workers had crossed into Israel and were being medically evaluated before flying home. Shoppers hunting for big deals packed malls on Black Friday as retailers stepped up discounts and other perks to lure customers weighed down by inflation and sticking to tighter budgets. Consumers are coming under pressure as their savings dwindle and their credit card debt grows. And although they have gotten some relief from easing inflation, many goods and services like meat and rent are still far higher than they were just 3 years ago. Malls including Macy's at Herald Square in Manhattan were packed with Black Friday discount hunters. The National Retail Federation, the nation's largest retail trade group, forecasts that U.S. holiday sales will rise 3% to 4% for November through December, compared with 5.4% growth a year ago. Double amputee Olympic runner Oscar Pistorius has been granted parole. More than a decade after shooting his girlfriend through a toilet door at his home in South Africa, in a killing that jolted the world. A Department of Corrections spokesperson said Friday that Pistorius will be released from prison on January 5th. He has been in prison since late 2014. Pistorius turned 37 this week and was given a second chance at parole after he was wrongly ruled ineligible at a first hearing in March. Pistorius was one of the world's most admired athletes when he shot Riva Steenkamp multiple times on Valentine's Day 2013. Anger has erupted in Italy over the slaying of a college student, allegedly by an ex-boyfriend who resented her success and wouldn't accept their breakup. Galvanizing that outrage is a blockbuster movie that explores violence against women. Fact and fiction have interwoven to drive demands in Italy for an end to the slaying of women by men. Young people have taken to pounding on classroom desks in unison to make that demand heard. Opposition lawmakers have done the same in Parliament. They've followed the urgings of the slain woman's sister, who asked that people react not with silent marches of tribute, but instead with noise. The ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas will bring relief to dozens whose relatives are being held captive. But with some 240 hostages in militant hands, only a fraction of families will be reunited under the current arrangement. Hamas on Friday freed 24 people, including 13 Israeli women and children, 10 people from Thailand, and 1 Filipino. There is some hope that the agreement could be expanded. Israel has said it will extend the truce one day for every 10 hostages freed. Still, many families are expected to be left to endure the torment of not knowing the fate of their loved ones. Ohio's new constitutional protections for abortion access and other reproductive rights take effect December 7, a month after voters resoundingly passed them. How and when their impacts are felt remains unclear. Existing abortion-related lawsuits are moving again through the courts since voters decided the issue, raising questions about implementation. The amendment voters approved November 7th did not repeal any existing Ohio laws relating to abortion or reproductive rights. That has prompted some anti-abortion activists to step up pressure on Republican elected officials to extend their efforts to halt, delay, or significantly water it down. It passed with a strong 57% majority of the vote. 2 more women have come forward to accuse Sean Diddy Combs of sexually assaulting them in the early 1990s. In one of the suits, a woman said Combs sexually assaulted her after plying her with drugs, then filmed the abuse without her knowledge. In a second suit, an unnamed woman said the producer and a friend took turns raping her and a friend during an after-party. The lawsuits were filed hours before the expiration of a New York law that gives victims of sexual abuse a 1-year window to file civil action, regardless of the statute of limitations. In an emailed statement, a spokesperson for Combs denied the allegations. When Daniel Skousen scrubs at the ash and soot covering his Maui home, he worries about the smell. More specifically, he worries about what chemicals created the burning trash barrel scent that has lingered since a deadly wildfire tore through Lahaina in August. He wants an independent expert to check the environmental safety testing being done by government agencies, but so far he hasn't been able to get the raw data. Environmental epidemiologist Irva Hertz-Picciotto studies the health effects of such fires. She says there's a lot that scientists don't yet know about the long-term health impacts of wildfires, like the one that destroyed Lahaina. It's been a record-breaking year for sea turtles in Florida. Just as they have for millions of years, the turtles have crawled onto beaches, digging pits in the sand to lay their eggs. Florida's preliminary count shows more than 133,840 loggerhead turtle nests and 76,500 green turtle nests, breaking records set years ago. Other southeastern U.S. states also report high numbers, but only 1 in 1,000 hatchlings lives to adulthood, and climate change is threatening their species as beaches disappear under rising seas. Hotter sand makes more females, and the hatchlings are smaller and slower. Experts say their future remains ominous. Today's news was reported by the Associated Press. This has been the World News for Saturday, November 25th, 2023. Thanks again for joining us at The Dunkley Report.